Okay, in this sample I'm demonstrating the tech demo I gave internally at Redstorm as the unveiling of the new vehicle AI system for Ghost Recon 2. I wrote 100% of this new system for both ground and air vehicles from the ground up. Key features included a custom pathfinding solution, fuzzy control systems for vehicle operation, a hierarchical goal-based behavior system, and the scripting toolkit, as well as most of the network replication logic. Additionally, for helicopters, I wrote the physics and flight model based on realistic helicopter dynamics but simplified appropriately for a game. This sample begins with a basic demonstration of AI control countering gravity and inertia during a figure-8 pattern. As with real helicopters, the AI accomplishes direction and lateral speed changes mostly through the tilting of the main rotor. In general, this gives a very realistic motion model that is exploitable for takeoffs, landings, and a host of in-flight maneuvers. In this next phase, the helicopter demonstrates its firepower by taking out a platoon located behind the player. The AI is aware of the status and rotational constraints of each of its weapons and will adjust aiming or craft orientation as needed to account for damaged weapons or line-of-sight failures. With the basic operational demonstration complete, now begins the final and most interesting phase of this sample. I've always been interested in the theme of the personification of machines. Inspired by the 1970s movie The Duel, in which a tractor-trailer incessantly chases a hapless motorist in a desolate desert, my goal here was to really give the helicopter some personality, portraying it as a relentless aggressor hell-bent on finding and killing the player at all costs. The helicopter will chase the player throughout the map, trying various tactics to get and maintain line of sight and firing opportunities. The AI will, at various points, anticipate the player's destination, reposition itself to attack from different angles, and generally seek opportunities to flush out the player from hiding places. Everywhere the player goes, the AI finds a way to get up close and personal, whether by appearing unexpectedly from above or by tight quarters movement through the narrow landscape in the level. It's important to keep in mind that while the helicopter is guided by a map of the navigable regions of the space, it is not actually confined to any rails. It could just as easily choose to go up and over the top of a building rather than around it. Here, the AI realizes he can't follow the player into the elevated terrain behind the hangar, and decides to change tactics. He raises up into the sky and sets up a high-speed strafing pass, which presents a player with a very different challenge. If the player himself changes things up, in this case by seeking shelter from the open-air attack, the AI adjusts as well. He finds the player and drops down for a direct assault. At this point, the chase tightens up even more as the player seeks a variety of cover objects in an attempt to lose them. Unfortunately, the AI is smart enough to keep up the hunt no matter where the player goes, even though the space gets pretty tight. This demo was so well received at Redstorm that we ended up adding 24 helicopter hunt missions as bonus material to Summit Strike, and in fact the concept was brought back in the more recent Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter 2. I chose this sample because while it is set in a military shooter environment, it illustrates my interest in transforming a usually mundane entity, the helicopter, into more of a relentless predator like that I'd expect to see in Doom. The helicopter has very few interesting animation components, so I had to rely on subtleties in the movement of the AI in order to convey emotion and intent. This simplicity demonstrates how much one can accomplish with a limited toolset, but it also suggests how much more we might accomplish with the more interesting and dynamic characters I imagine are planned for Doom.